red zone.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And before we jump into that game, though, I want to actually real quickly take a look at the brackets right here. I got them pulled up on my screen. Again, I know that I don't know if these are actually published anywhere just yet, but anyways, these are the brackets that is going to be taking place from the main event that, of course, starts on March 3rd. So all these teams, all the invited, the qualified teams. You can see here in the bottom right, kind of highlighted here, that's where the winner of this team will play Pikachu in the first round. As you can see. So that's setting up to be, again, the matchup there, and then the winner of that, of course, the winner of TDM versus Druids, or aka Mist. But again, so that's kind of how things are shaping up here with the with this final qualifying event. So the winner of this is going to be playing Pikachu in that first round. So that is what's on the line, but I think we are ready for game number 3. Emperor, are we good?
I'm good, Breaky.
Let's do this. Let's get game number 3 going. Let's jump in. NXL Focus Esports. They're going up against Cats Gaming here. Let's take a look. Let's actually do our countdown first. So let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Done.
2, 3. Okay.
Perfect.
All right, drag that off. Okay, so nxlF, of course, on the Legion side again, and Cats Gaming on the Hellborn side. The Have Fun's given out. Good to see that. Fade Tundra taken care of in the blind band phase. Pebbles, Keeper of the Forest. So no Predator blind bands coming out here by any means.
Yeah, no Engineer blind bands, no Moon Queen.
Yeah.
If not locked, I would expect to see her banned after the impact she had in Game 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was banned. Was she blind banned last game, actually? She was
blind banned last game.
Yeah.
And Engineer, who saw blind ban in Game 1, just skated right on through, just not having any attention. Maybe we'll see a resurfacing of the Engineer. We saw Ophelia lock last time. No one picked her up because of that Keeper Tempest struggle going on. Just sort of went under the radar.
Yeah, that's very rare, very right. And so, yeah, definitely interested to see perhaps something like that this time around. I know that Engineer has been one, we really focused on the last game and not getting passed up completely. We see him all the time, it seems like, nowadays. So maybe here in Game 3, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. The locking phase coming out right here. Meraxis the first lock, Glacia's Hammer Storm to follow things up. Luna going to be the first lock, or the second lock, really. Now coming out from Insaban, and we'll see what his final one is.
Very aggressive pull. Witch Slayer.
Yeah. We saw him banned last game, remember, too. So
yeah, I did look in the store, by the way, that Hope Witch Slayer is in there. I thought it was part of like a refer a friend program or something. It is in there.
It's you again.
You're going to make me find this now.
Yeah, it's actually really, really cool if you do see it. I think it's awesome anyway.
Hero name.
Yeah, type in Hope, man.
Oh, you can actually, like, type in a name? Oh, yeah,
you can start. There's a magnifying glass in the upper right of that, yeah.
I can spell it. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, so she's not out yet. Or she's unavailable right now, at least.
Oh, yeah, she's, like, in the game. This is...
Huh. It's pretty badass. It is.
Thought it was part of a refer a friend program, like refer 10 friends and get Hope at one point. But
oh, okay. That makes sense.
I'm not sure exactly the breakdown.
Huh. That is a badass rifle, too.
Yeah.
Anyways. Maybe in the future.
An Engineer in the lock pool this time, so perhaps definitely. I mean,
yeah.
There's a Glacius, there's a Luna, and there's an NG. I mean, I would value the NG pretty highly in that lock pool.
Yeah, he's being locked up here. Wouldn't be surprised to see him be picked up. So, banning phase, of course, to follow now. Jerizaiah, Tempest, and Pharaoh so far coming out here. Pharaoh's another kind of one we have seen ban, I think, in the second game as well. So, following that up, you know what? Actually, the first game I know for a fact, Wild Soul went unbanned and unplayed.
Actually, Game 2 as well?
I think Game 2 as well, yeah.
I think I'm just so accustomed to seeing that Wild Soul banned out, Breaky, that...
Neither one of these teams. Don't want that god-tier hero.
Yeah, no, that is definitely an oversight. You can say what you want about it, but Wild Soul is an amazing hero right now. I've seen Orange Esports running him a lot, too, so it's not just in our eyes. I mean, by everyone, pretty much, and his win rate supports that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and there's been forum posts on it. There was a public stat release, and how at least the last cycle he had something like 89% win percentage, like by far was the best. Or
that's not to say you should always pick Wild Soul, but I've seen even Complexity pass him up sometimes.
Yeah.
If Wild Soul was available as a first pick, going for a stronger team composition / team fight instead. But that he is a powerhouse, and for him to go unpicked and unbanned every single game here, definitely peculiar. Followed by an Ophelia first pick.
How about that? Ophelia coming out here. It made it to the banning phase again, and sure enough, this time taken up by nxlF. So going that Ophelia pick here, getting the jungle option. Now you look at what else is on the board. I mean, Tempest ban, Parasite ban, obviously Keeper's banned as well. So
Legionnaire, there's the Beast, there's
the
a
Beast.
couple things out there.
I like that, just the Beast here.
Beast.
So we'll see. Ooh, Moon Queen is also available, by the way, too. Forgot to mention that. But yeah, Silhouette picked up here so far from Cats Gaming. So, but yeah, Moon Queen is there again. Cat's knocking.
Yeah, is she just? I'm not.
Yeah, that and Wild Soul really standing out this game. But
yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. They just don't want her. Maybe opting for other carries instead. Maybe they have a.
Well, we did see Predator the first 2 games, so maybe a third game here.
Predator, he's in the pool again.
Yep.
But there's Draconis, there's Wild Soul, there's Moon Queen. There's other heroes as well, but those would be the main ones that we see.
Yeah. Thinking about this last one here as far as the regular picks
I've
go.
talked about this before again, and I definitely prefer more mid-game paced lineups when you have an Ophelia. Maybe they can scale into late game through great team fight, through having a couple options, but I always talked about I don't like when I see Ophelia Draconis or this. I like those mid-game paced, like really high-pressure teams, and Draconis doesn't scream that to me. He screams like I need to sit back and farm for my items.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. Voodoo Jester. Ooh, a little bit of curveball there, too, coming out here.
Maybe in response to the Ophelia pick.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting, but the bounces, they did buff him quite a bit lately. I still think he feels weak. Not done extensive testing with him, but he still feels a bit weak. The heal's pretty good against his cursed ground, but that stun does last on those creeps quite a while.
Yeah, that's true. That buff that happened, obviously Nova was the big focus of that when that first came out. Didn't really see it too much after that, to be honest, which is kind of odd. But
I should go back and look at all of the changes Voodoo Jester has received, so I could just catalog him a little bit better here. But overall, a very aggressive team coming out from Hellborn.
Even their carry option in that Silhouette, bringing some very good aggression there. But you're right. I mean, touching back on nxlF here. Now, overall, their lineup it seems like it came together very nicely. I mean, they do have a powerful hell. They could run an aggressive pseudo tri-lane, Ophelia, Luna, Moraxis if they really wanted to.
Good initiation with Moraxis, plus Wretched Hag in the fights to buy room for Draconis to maybe go around and do his thing. But that being said, I actually do kind of like Hellborn's team here. It seems I don't know. I just don't like. I just feel like it's a scattered objective here for Legion. It's an okay lineup, but I don't know. Pushing really early with Moraxis Draconis is maybe not going to happen. It's just a little bit more awkward. I like seeing those pebbles. I like seeing Deadwood. I like seeing other insta-give heroes when I see an Ophelia, just so you can pick one off and push right away. Don't really see that here. Don't really see a ton of lockdown. Meanwhile, Hellborn is full of it.
Oh yeah, plenty of stuns over here on the Hellborn side, and in fact, every hero to an extent, has some kind of stun, of course. So, you see right off the bat, sitting 4 players down here. They're going to try to, get either a kill, going to get down the ward of sight, and
they're countering the tri-lane with the quad line, I guess.
Yep, here we go. Well, see, look at this though. Wretched Hag is down here, laning up. Interesting. How are we going to see? Are we going to see that pseudo tri-lane? Will it be Draconis though instead of Moraxis? Or will Draconis... It looks like Moraxis is going mid, so they're going to Draconis pseudo tri-lane here. Draconis, Aluna, Ophelia, actually.
Right, probably Ophelia feeling like she can get into that top lane there if they're going to focus their efforts bottom. Now, she's moving around. She wants to maybe avoid the Voodoo Jester so she can get some ganks off. Because that stun does, sort of foil your plans, coming out with that long duration on the creep.
Well, she is back in her own jungle, and see, I don't know about this, though. If you're not going to have Ophelia in the opposition jungle, you have what ends up being a Draconis Aluna lane. Again, that's not bad by any means. It is double range. You are going to be going up against a Voodoo Jester Silhouette, though, in their short lane. So, well, now Ophelia's going back up. Never mind. He is going back up there, so clearly just a little bit of confusion here on what they ultimately want to do, but...
Well, they can apply a lot of pressure, but Silhouette should
Nope.
definitely be
Nope, not going
incredibly
back.
difficult to kill up here. Built-in escape mechanism combined with the Voodoo protection. Very strong dual range harass as well. Voodoo for a support hero, he hits hard, man. He has no stats, and he's still hitting for 48 to 58.
Yeah. And nope, she goes back. Okay, back to the Legion jungle. So okay, clearly some indecision there, but finally found her home. She takes over the Vagabond leader, and into farming she goes. So yeah, again though, it's now not to say this Draconis a little lane can't do well. I'm sure it could do just fine, but yeah, not having the presence of Ophelia up here to at least threaten the Hellborn side, force adjustments perhaps, seems a little bit odd. It really does, but. We'll see how this ends up working, of course, for our Legion team here. I mean, what do you think? Do you think Draconis Aluna, like, it'll be fine and Draconis will still get great farm, or?
It's still a dual lane versus dual lane. I think Voodoo Jester will have a much easier time up here. Really strong dual range harass coming out from Silhouette plus Voodoo, and yeah, obviously they have dual range as well there with Draconis. He should be fine with that breath to push him back, but yeah, I want to say he'll be fine. But it's just going to be a sort of a stalemate lane.
Yeah. No, definitely keep an eye on that
angle.
creep score here. They didn't block the pole camp either, actually.
Oh yeah, no, Ophelia actually did sneak up to top as well.
Okay, so back she is.
Keeping an eye out for 1 second. And she moved.
Skeleton King taking over. So this is a possible kill opportunity. Now again, Draconis not necessarily the best assistance when it comes to, you know, your carry supporting for a kill, but that Dragon Flame can be powerful at the same time. And
how about?
Yep.
How about this Miraxis, the Arcane Shield going up against the Hammerstorm Engineer lane, going to be very helpful.
Oh yeah. In fact, speaking of Engineer, actually running into what is Wretched Hag, who picked up the double damage room, chasing him down. Maybe a couple more auto attacks. Oh, but he stops going forward. The turret just a little bit too much slow. And will keep him off from getting the kill. So good job, Engineer, right there. Scorpion making the getaway. That could have very likely been a bloodlust kill. But yeah, you're talking about Shampoo King playing the Moraxis here. Having that Arcane Shield can really figure when that Hammerstorm stun is coming, and could be a great counter to that. So yeah, you're right. Despite it being 1 versus 2, he should actually be fine for the most part. Voodoo Jester for the meantime at the top lane. The Skeleton King came in. The net is down. The Dragon Flight coming out. 2 more auto attacks, maybe. Yes, it will be enough. Despite the health potion going to be used. Bloodlust kill in favor of NXL Focus Esports. So, Pseudo Tri-Lane does mission accomplished here at the top lane.
Right, and Skeleton King being one of the better creeps they could have had for that. I mean, even setting it, that is a long range entangle / net, whatever that ability. What is it called? Bone grip? I need to check it out.
I call it net, yeah. I don't know the exact.
Yeah, I can't even check the abilities right now.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah,
that's actually there was a forum poster recently. It's definitely still out there in the competitive section of.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
just spectator interface increases, and it is something I always, of course, am thinking about. And do have obviously contact with Bangers, who works more on the UI side of things, and he has brought up the point, making some more features enhanced. So that's definitely one.
It's called the King's Grip.
The King's Grip. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it really? Huh. The King's Grip. That's an interesting name for it. Oh, he kills the Skeleton King off right there as he takes over a Vagabond later. It was about to be killed, so that's a good job on his part. But clearly the Hellborn team making somewhat of an adjustment themselves now. Engineer is up here, of course. Hammerstorm can definitely mind his own here in the middle lane. So, although Engineer now heading back, is going to protect the top rune. Happens to be regen. Bottle up from Hammerstorm as they go back mid. So he's actually going to head back towards the middle lane. So Silhouette and Voodoo Jester will just need to be pretty careful up here. The creep farm, it is pretty close between Silhouette and Draconis. Neither side too impressive, around 11-6, 10-6. So in that sense, the farm really isn't that much different here in this game so far. You got your bottom matchup, Hag versus Bubbles, you really haven't talked about just yet. In fact, Bubbles lands a Shell Surf right there, goes in with a poor couldn't Song of the Sea in time, though. It is only level 1, but that would have been damn close. That probably would have been a kill, actually. If he could get that off in time. It was a great Shell Surf, just couldn't follow it up, however. And the Wretched Hag will survive, but very, very close. But my point being, actually, Bubbles diving in. Yep, okay. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to run up to your face and Shell Surf you anyways. Oh, top lane. Minotaur coming in for the flank right there. Voodoo Jester going to be initiated on. He will fall. The dive, especially with an Ophelia, just too strong. Things are, top lane at least coming together nicely for the Legion team. But yeah, the bottom lane, Bubbles getting a free kill.
That was a huge blunder. And Bubbles can do quite well against Wretched Hag, but Wretched Hag had the double damage rune. Did have a CS advantage early on, sort of 10 versus 5 with the DD. Bubbles came hard though. Now he's sitting on 17-7 versus Hag, 14-8, indefinite control of that lane after that blunder.
Yeah. Oh, middle lane. Morax is going to get stunned. You talked about the Arcane Shield, not able to use right there. Was in the face, so he's going to have to start running. He's going to activate the Matrix, actually. Trying to run, but doing a great creep block here. Hammerstone with the hero block, stepping inside of him in front of him some more, but it's just not going to be enough. He'll be pushed back, but again, that ultimate is just so damn tanky, especially in cases like that. And Moraxis does get away.
You normally see a Hammerstorm NG lane, very aggressive, just totally shut down.
Yeah.
The lane they're up against, but in a case like this, Moraxis is performing surprisingly well. A lot of things going pretty decently for an nxlF here. And we've seen very even early to mid games so far for both teams.
Yeah, in both game 1 and 2, it's definitely been a very similar storyline. Of course, you know, this being the third and final game now, which team will qualify for that main event and play Pikachu in the first round? Well, we'll see. Draconis, though, despite him being involved in these 2 kills up here, his GPM barely struggling to sit at 200. So is Silhouette. So I guess in that sense, it's kind of a trade-off there between the 2 sides. Right now, though, Hammerstorm is leading the way, nearly 300 gold per minute. So despite them not really being able to get the kills here in the middle lane, he is having a very good time when it comes to his farm. And we'll see, you know, as we saw, I think it was the first game I want to say, maybe it was the last game, I'm actually blanking now. But the Insanitarius build that he went, will it be kind of similar here? Or will it be different? It was the first game now that I think about it.
It was, yeah, it was definitely game 1.
So, will he go for that Insanitarius again? Or will he go the Portal Key route this time? We'll see. Again, that game,
was it the same player? Was it Bow to me?
I think it was, yeah. I was trying to think of that too, but I believe it was.
I mean, as I mentioned before, I like to see the Portal Key route most of the time.
Yeah.
See, on occasion, times where you just need a different build, but yeah, most of the time, Portal Key is the way to go. It just helps you put a lot more damage right up to them as you land the stun.
Well, for now, again, continuing to really just sit in the laning phase here. Not a whole lot of movement going on, although Engineer's back up into the top lane. Does have a Haste Rune bottled up, by the way. So could possibly try to set something up with that. Draconis right now, somewhat by himself, actually. Uh-oh, Draconis, you're in some trouble. Kexton will barely miss right there. The Voodoo Jester cocktail not going to be able to be close enough either. And Draconis makes the getaway with a Blazing Flight. So obviously the Kexton, it can be a difficult point stun to land right there.
Yeah, the cocktail has a range of 700, though. I feel like if they just led with the Voodoo Jester, they could have gotten that.
Yeah, just been a little bit more patient.
Yeah, no boots, I know, but he had to respond based on him coming out of fog, and I just feel like they could have gotten it, but oh well.
Yeah. Oh, Ophelia gets gone on here. He takes over the Skeleton King. Not going to really net just yet, though, and in the end, he will fall. Not that it really would have mattered, probably. In fact, now the Skeleton King being chased down. Hammerstorm has another 4 seconds. Will they actually pick up the kill on the King here? Will they use those resources to do so? Is the important question. It doesn't look like it. The Skeleton King will get on out of there. But again, the important kill happening on Ophelia. And that actually ties it up into 2 kills apiece. And right now, Golden Experience are...
It's like the start of the game, man.
Yeah,
it's a whole new again. Reroll.
Basically is right now. So Hammerstorm does continue to lead the way, though. He is still sitting comfortably at that 300 GPM spot. Again, as we're now approaching 9 minutes into the game here. So both teams are pretty content for the most part of sitting in the lanes here. You know, Bubbles is really the key to that, where... You usually like to see that 6-7 balls. Middle lane actually more access once again gone on right here. Can he get away? He already activated the ultimate. Yes, he can. As he may even go for a counter kill using those illusions. But, Ophelia also coming in, but not going to be close enough. And I think actually gets the regen up using those bottle charges, not chasing Hammerstorm. Can't get close enough for the Quake stun though, so.
Look at his skill build too, opting not to max out the axes, instead going for a higher level of Quake, maybe just defensively so he can get away.
Yeah. And then the stun duration lasts a little bit longer. Could definitely help for that. So, as he denies the catapult right there, well played. Bottom lane though, I was going to talk about. Actually, speaking of that, Wretched Egg falls right there. Bubbles will barely get away. The Draconis ports in, happens to at least get a counter kill, but Bubbles did get the kill first. So again, kind of catching that halfway through. Bubbles did use the kelp field there to secure the kill. I was going to say, you know, Bubbles not really moving too much early on here, despite the decent start for him. But Draconis porting bottom and now just may take over farm down here, which could be good, of course, for nxlF here. and their situation. Oh, Engineer actually caught in the jungle, by the way. Scorpion in trouble. The turret comes out. The Quake Stun missing, actually. And now here comes Voodoo Jester and Silhouette. The Cocktail going to start bouncing around. Curse of Ground applied. Ophelia will definitely drop right here. And now Moraxis realizing he's in a pretty difficult spot. Activates that Matrix right there. Trying to tank all this damage. Double damage Hammerstorm, though. That makes a lot of sense. Aluna runs in with the stun. Will Hammerstorm get close enough for his stun, though? Arcane Shield, maybe? No, it is on cooldown, and down goes Moraxis. Double tap for Bowdemy there, and he may go for the hat trick, actually. Aluna being dove on. Another stun up in 5 seconds. Doesn't have those boots. Keg stun just out of range, but Aluna, again, still on the run. We're going to see a big dive. Here's a Hammerstorm stun, bringing her to just above half left. The double damage is still up, and Silhouette will actually finish off Aluna right there. So Cats Gaming, quite a bit of momentum picking up. 6-3 hero kills now.
Yeah, a lot of early and mid aggression, and they're taking back control of their jungle. They're saying, Ophelia, go back to your side. You don't stand a chance here. And it's a lot easier for them to move that Hammerstorm up defensively than it is for Moraxis to sort of get up and in there.
Yep.
So they're able to do that.
Yep. Yeah, and actually they're going to 4-man push now to this top tower as a result of them being here. Middle lane, Bubbles is going to shell surf away as he gets jumped by Wretched Hag, but not too much pressure. Here's the invulnerability. Only one port in. Yeah, if you're the Hellborn team, you're like, is that really the biggest deal? And actually, Draconis in trouble. The Hammerstorm stun hits on top of the Keg stun. There's the Acid Cocktail. Curse of Ground applied, and Draconis will fall right here. Ouch. Miscommunication big time, man.
Huge miscommunication, man. Draconis has already not been having a great game. You do not want to see him skating at 180 GPM. And it's not just the death. The other thing you can't see is the gold spent on the TP.
Yep. Yeah, the 135 gold there, and what ultimately got him killed in the end, too. So it's even that much more of a net difference.
Poured in to board the River Styx, so.
Yeah, clearly if he had more ports coming in with it, that would have made more sense. But the Hellborn team saw that, like, wait a second, only one guy's porting in. Let's actually kill him real quickly. And sure enough, they did. So, yeah, really unfortunate for our Indonesian team right here. And now at about 12.5 minutes, that golden experience to advantage are starting to go more and more in favor of Cats. You do have, once again, a farmed Hammerstorm early on, up to 350 GPM, and Silhouette has also started to jump up. You still want to see that portal key? Yeah, he's going back. We'll see. Oh no, and Sanitarius also. It's pretty damn good.
There it is.
Okay.
They have the aggression now, man. They have a very aggressive team. I would just like to see, that safe sort of route this game.
Speaking of safe, more of a farming route, Silhouette actually going for that, going the slick style, you can call it. I assume he's going for that Whispering Helm, of course. So. Making a statement of more farming again with this aggressive team that he has built around him, especially. I think that's just fine. But, you agree?
Yeah, it's all right if they start stacking the jungle, making use of it. Sure. Probably just go for an earlier Shrunken Head this game instead of the Nullstone route. I imagine against a lot of the AOE spells coming out from Legion team. You have the Moraxis jump, you got the Hag. Luna Power Throw, Draconis Breath. He just figures he'd rather have the Shrunken Head, probably, is what I gather out of it. Instead of, I don't really need an Nullstone in this game. Just gonna go farming and Shrunken Head.
Yeah, Draconis getting picked off here in the bottom lane in the meantime. Ophelia heal came out, but it just wasn't enough. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Moraxis has gone on Cursed Ground applied. You see the Arcane Shield, but it doesn't really do too much right there. The Cursed Ground, will it be enough for the kill? He's going to activate the ultimate, of course. And I believe he should be fine with that. Now, Ophelia charging and trying to finish off Voodoo Jester. But no, Voodoo Jester going to be able to port out and survive himself. So another kill on Draconis. His GPM just continues to really struggle here. Only at 162 gold per minute right now. And momentum just, continuing to build up for Cats Gaming. Obviously taking advantage right away of that portal key. Here on Hammerstorm. Bottom tower going down. Draconis came in at the last second trying to deny it. Wasn't successful though, and now Bubbles ports back. He is also close to a portal key, by the way. So just another factor that you're going to have to worry about here if you're the Legion team right now. So nothing really coming together at all. I mean, it's one thing to look at that Draconis and his lack of farm, but Wretched Hag is your top farmer right now at 215 gold per minute. That's not that good here for nxlF.
Right, and Silhouette's off to a much better start now. We saw it neck and neck for a while, but climbing up to 320 now and has her farming mechanism up. So from here on out, it should only boost.
Yeah, and she is just going to continue to go throughout the jungle, of course, waiting for a stack opportunity here at 15 minutes, but stack that up and continue to farm even more. Bubbles, like I said, he's bought some regen and whatnot, some TPs, but getting very close still to that portal key. They're going to aggressively push this middle tower. Will Hammerstorm activate the brute strength or not is what I'll look for. But actually, yeah, they do start to fall back because the Legion team, they are here. and ready to defend it. So Cats Gaming not going to really risk the issue, not going to force the issue. Just continue buying time for Silhouette, really, who, again, looks like she's going that Firebrand round next, of course. So
Yeah, the Slick's build, I guess.
Yep.
Straight through to Geos, and we'll see from there. Maybe pick up the Shrunken Head afterwards. Maybe just pick up the Firebrand and get the Shrunken Head.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and speaking of Shrunken Head, Hammerstorm actually Mighty Blade pickup. So Shrunken Head for him is very likely here.
Standard route this game.
If we do Jester, maxing out the Curse of Ground first, of course. He has level 3 of it right now. He's a Ward Master here. He's got several sets of wards on him.
Yeah, this is, I don't even need stats on this hero, man. Just hit hard enough already. Got decent enough base stats. He has the Striders and just a ton of wards.
Yeah, I mean, the Curse of Ground, it's a very close range you do have to get to. It's actually only a 400 range, but as long as he can't get that off to an extent, he's basically done his job. That and the Acid Cocktail, you know. You're not worried about him necessarily staying alive beyond that, so.
Right.
He's going to charge him right here. They might find Ophelia. Yes, they do. Invisible Hammerstorm. There's a stun out. The Acid Cocktail, but Hammerstorm says, screw this. This ain't going to happen. And he actually ports out. That was probably the smart move, actually. I mean, there was the response coming, so.
Yeah, and they forced the Ophelia heal. If they want to make a play now, there's maybe less to mitigate their initiation.
Yeah, so very, very good fallback there from Hammerstorm. Not, once again, forcing the issue, so. Silhouette, while that's all happening in the middle, she's just having a good time at the top lane. Wretched Hag joining the party. But again, his farm also continuing to not be the brightest here. Hellborn team now going to group up again and push the bottom lane, or middle lane, excuse me.
What? Wait, what?
What's up?
The Vulture, I was looking at it, I was watching it stack the Ancients, and instead of stacking it at the 55-second mark or 54, it just started walking towards middle.
Yeah, misclick.
And now it's on a little mission here.
I don't even see it, actually.
It's actually in mid lane between the two towers on Hellborn, and it's going into the jungle.
Oh, on Hellborn. Oh, yes. Where is it going? Oh, he's going to stack the jungle for him?
Yeah, I guess so. Just he had a pretty ancient stack. He just walked right by the camp at the perfect time and just didn't want to use it. I don't know.
Missed that, but yeah, he is going to use it right here. We'll see if he can actually pull it off. But Firebrand delivered. Again, his farm, GPM-wise, now up to 348 and counting. I don't see
no one really shining here on Legion.
Exactly, yeah. It keeps going back to that really here on the Legion side, and you know, again, that does kind of start with the laning phase. To me, it was odd. You know, if we were going to see a pseudo tri-lane, I at the very least expected it to be a Moraxis Aluna Ophelia.
Well, I don't know. The Moraxis, you know, if you put the Draconis in middle, man, Draconis would have gotten annihilated.
Oh, no, Draconis goes bottom, Hagen middle, was what I would think.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. But even Hagen middle would have probably gotten out CS'd pretty damn hard by this Hammerstorm with the Hatchet. Moraxis actually did do okay. Like, he did pretty soundly in mid. So I don't even think that was necessarily the problem. I mean, they even got a kill up top. Things were looking okay. Draconis was, you know, like 50 GPM above Silhouette. Bottom lane, like, the Hag got smashed by that Bubbles, though. So, I don't know. And then they just didn't keep it up. Hellborn winded up putting in some aggression. They needed to lane swap things a little bit earlier. Maybe around the time Moraxis hit 6, change things up. And they didn't. And Hellborn just had an answer to it.
Ooh, invulnerability at the last second. It doesn't matter, though. That was interesting. It seemed like the invulnerability was still up, to be honest. But anyway.
I've seen that before where, like, there's 1 HP left, a little bit of damage goes through. Yeah, it looked like that invulnerability was definitely still up.
Well, I don't know if that would have been a difference maker. I didn't see the Legion team that really close, so still, that was actually interesting. I don't know if I've seen that before, but anyways, tower kill in favor of the Hellborn team. Obviously, just more great news for Cats Gaming as it continues to add up here. So not only do you have the Silhouette to worry about, but Hammerstorm, he has been that mid-game big damage-dealing presence that he can be now, and will just threat more so than damage-dealing presence of that blink-in stun and the follow-up damage from the brute strength and whatnot. So you got a Shrunken Head on top of that, and obviously life is good. Bubbles also now going to start working on his Hellflower as he's getting towards that 300 gold per minute himself. Ophelia running into several heroes right here, but yeah, quickly turning around herself because not a situation you want to necessarily get involved in. You see the Acid Cocktail doing a lot of work right there. Sending those creeps for a while.
Yeah, those creeps were just...
It's a Glacius stun right there. Keeping them in place, so they get at least one of the pickoffs, and Ophelia will now just take over a Minotaur over here. She is level 7, so she can't take over 3, of course. Shampoo King here playing the Moraxis. 1,600 gold. He's actually going to get around 1,700, 1,800 here, so getting close to that portal key, at least for his sake. That's good news, at least for nxlF, in what's been very, very not good news here for the most part for our Legion team so far. It does kind of suck that, and you know, with the time zone and everything, obviously we really couldn't have watched it live, but I am actually really curious to see what kind of latency they were ultimately dealing with. Again, I assume it was fairly bad for both teams.
Right, and we can't really take. I mean, they are from two different regions.
It's like, what are you gonna do, really?
Yeah.
So, that also leads into the fact that, again, it's Southeast Asian. You know, you had your original Duskbin team. You have now, you know, Orange Esports, of course. It's just something that they have to deal with, and going into that main event, whichever one of these two teams, and of course Orange, they're in the main event. They were invited. They just have to deal with that, unfortunately. But they've shown that they can make it work. So, not to give up on them that easily, but
yeah, they never were able to truly shine international competition though on LAN, sure, but they did still struggle with it, man. It is still a barrier.
Yeah, that's a struggling thing. It's like, I mean, yeah. So the decision making here is definitely a you can question it. Is a good way to put it, I think, especially on the side of this nxlF team, but. Well, for the most part, you know, definitely playing sound, and you ultimately would like to see them at a LAN event. Perhaps they will make it to that GSL event, of course, in Thailand. Who knows? Representing Indonesia over there, so.
This looks a lot of SEA teams in general, and if they're the best of Indonesia, yeah, I would expect to see them there.
Yep. That really is going to be a fun event, man. That is going to be. I know we've had global event, of course, with DreamHacks these last couple of DreamHacks to an extent, but. I think that's going to be like the first true one in my mind.
Yeah, and yeah, there was the DYA event too, where you had.
Yeah.
It's more. I don't know. It's just so different because normally you see DreamHack, you see a couple teams from other regions coming and trickling into the NAEU scene, and here it's the other way around. You see a couple of our teams going and trickling into their scene, fighting on their turf.
Exactly.
So
I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, DYA was one. It's kind of an example of that, but at that time too, DYA was. Southeast Asia was just breaking, was just like was new. I don't even know if they were even out yet in public. I think they might have still been in beta at that point, but clearly that's changed.
They were a version behind each time.
Yeah, clearly that's changed now, though. I mean, they're definitely up to date, and obviously as compared player-wise and everything, I mean, they're even bigger than the North American European scene. So
yeah, it's mammoth at this point. So.
Yeah, can't wait to see the competition level that we have there in Thailand. The home turf aspect too. It's got to mean something. It really does. So. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Again, this event isn't necessarily for that, just kind of sidetracking there, but going off the idea of the whole international scene and whatnot. So we're talking about, for this event, of course, the Sound Blaster Heroes League, the main event, the $30,000 prize pool, that starts March 4th, where every single match is going to be covered. So speaking of awesome events going, every match from the round of 16 and on is going to be covered between us and Colecast, of course, talking about Beef and his situation over there. So that is also going to be a lot of fun, a lot of coverage, a lot of content for you guys. So look forward to that, of course. We did just announce that today on the podcast, so just kind of breaking news there. But, well, talking about that, because right now, as you see on your screen, yet again, this whole series, it's been, for the most part, fairly passive. I'm not going to lie. And I am a little bit taken back by that. But, you know, both teams playing to win, of course, and making the decisions that they feel correct.
In a game like this, it's up to Cats to be aggressive if they want to. You actually saw Voodoo Jesters pick up Energizer there in entirety. He was just sitting on those Strider's wards. He was slowly building away at Energizer in the base. But yeah, it's up to them to be aggressive. They have the advantage now. They can take this late game. They can just coast from here, build up their items and do whatever they want. But it's up to them to make a play if they so choose. They've got the token. It's just, at this point, you farm with the map safely. You control the resources. If they leave an opening, you strike. But otherwise, you say, hey, look at our golden experience gain. Yeah. Just exponentially grow.
And actually going to counter word a little bit right here. And I'm important to say that was just about to despawn, but might as well get the 50 gold bounty from it. Ancient's word just cleared up by the leading team. Moraxis actually got very low to death even. But he stays alive again. He has his portal key, of course. Was able to save her for that. Russian Hag, actually. 2,200 gold saved up. She has the one Arcana on here, so I think she still needs the 2 more to finish the Hellflower. But she's recovered. I mean, she's now at 280 gold per minute. It's definitely gone up here in this time.
Highest level. It's a lot of split pushing going on with Hag. Yeah. Flash farming waves. It's a hero that's pretty good at it.
By the way, Conqueror died. I don't even know if you brought that up, but we're watching.
No, I brought up
it,
the token. I didn't bring up
so
the Conqueror kill itself. I think we were
token
going on about the event at that point. But the Shrunken Head on definitely a much more natural build here for Hammerstorm.
Yeah, more of what you can expect to see for sure. So he's ready to go in with that Shrunken Head. He's level 12 right now. You got a level 16 Silhouette on top of that. Denying the tower. Good job right there by nxlF. So at least they get somewhat of a positive in that situation. But nonetheless, the tower is dead. And now they have to worry about one last tower on their side. The only towers, the top and the bottom, are remaining as far as outer towers are concerned. And you do see right away Cats Gaming, they make their way towards the top lane, and they're going to try to take advantage of that. So another 2,400 gold saved up on Silhouette now, too. We'll should go that portal key route, perhaps. Probably not.
Maybe. Shrunken Head as well. We see Slicks pick up a lot when he actually goes to his iron build. Portal key could be okay. They have a Bubbles, they have a Engineer, Hammerstorm. If Engineer is able to get his ulti down, the Bubbles ulti, it should provide enough lockdown for Silhouette to do her damage. Maybe if she just gets a Shrunken Head, this Legion team is already sort of suffering. It's going to be very hard for them to make big plays. But, you know, once we talked before, Nullstone, they have a lot of AoE damage that doesn't really proc the Nullstone itself, but a Shrunken Head would definitely reduce what she's taken. So I think she could go for that route, too.
Hellflower just finished on Wretched Egg, actually jumps in right here. Bat Blast coming out. They're trying to lock down this Hammerstorm. Will it be enough for the kill? Yes, it will. So a good start off for the Legion team right there. Energy field is down from Engineer. Silhouette, of course, with the token alive. Right clicking with the auto attack damage. The grapple is out and increasing her damage from the Relentless Salvo. Will get a kill right there on Meraxis. Wretched Egg ports away before too much pressure onto her, however. So that's how the fight will end. It ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange, it looks like. Hammerstorm for Meraxis. They got about half life on the tower. So again, a hold there at least from our Legion team, but I still think Cats Gaming, they're not, you know, miserable with the outcome right there necessarily. They're feeling just fine how that ended, so.
Mod Tomb being picked up by Engineer, and it's okay. I mean, a Storm Spirit's never a bad item. I just, once again, there's a lot of sustained damage coming out here, not as much total huge burst from Legion. I mean, it's okay, but I would just like to see like a portal key, follow up on the Hammerstorm, and then just have all the lockdown you need for your team. Storm Spirit's okay, but they're so far in the lead, I don't feel like she needs to be going it. I don't feel like Silhouette's afraid of getting bursted down and not being able to do anything to fight, but he is going the Storm Spirit route, and it's going to take a while. I would have just rather seen a more aggressive pickup.
Yeah, so the Storm Spirit, again, not a bad pickup. In fact, going back to base right now, the Mana Tube, I'm sure will be put on him. There we go. As well as a Homecoming Stone, so we'll have that nonetheless here. And to be good for his team in that sense. The double Arcana finished on Bubbles, so he too is working on the Hellflower and getting very close to finishing it himself. I mean, the Legion team did show some burst potential right there, especially with the Hellflower. I mean, they took out Hammerstorm pretty quickly right off the bat. So
he was caught off guard, though.
Yeah.
You know, and now they're prepared.
Oh. And now Ophelia's like, well, crap, I ran into Hammerstorm. Speaking of him, there's the ultimate activated, chasing down the stretch of that Kelfield coming out. Meraxis in the back on them. He jumps in, trying to get the kill to Bubbles. He's going to take cover, though. Bubbles will eventually fall. But now Meraxis in some trouble. He's going to go ahead and use that ultimate. He does an Arcane Shield right there. And now he's going to be locked down. Down he goes. Voodoo Jester ultimate doing plenty of damage as well. And now Wretched Hag blinking in the rock spot. Shield will fall to Hammerstorm. Sloppy initiation coming out there from the Legion team. Now, they did kill Voodoo Jester on top of that. But, again, I still think Cats Gaming favorable with that exchange. Because while you have that, Draconis was still farming. But he's now back at base regenning, as this will be the last outer tower now destroyed in favor of Cats Gaming.
Yeah, very sloppy. And Meraxis did have his Arcane Shield. It looked like his fingers wasn't hovering over it. I mean, that should have been his highest priority. Once maybe it's the latency that's actually coming in and kicking their butt here.
Yeah, that would be my safe assumption, is that, you know, again, with the latency, I'm sure it's easy for us to sit here and say, why would you not do that? But, you know, when you're doing 200+.
Very, very probable, if anything.
Yeah. Silhouette, she actually, that was a good play by Silhouette right there, and I'm a little bit surprised that nxlF, you know, obliged her somewhat. I think the tower may have been assisting, but she actually just basically suicided right there with like 20 seconds on the token. And, well, she got killed and ported out with the illusion real quickly, so.
Straight Savage Mace picked up by Silhouette, proving us all wrong.
Yep.
She's got what she needs to push now, just needs a token on top of it and should be okay. Just feels like there's enough protection with that Engineer, with the Hammerstorm in front that, you know, she can do that.
Straight up Shrunken from Draconis, now another 2,000 gold saved up. So obviously going a little bit different there, but we do see this from time to time in certain situations, and I think I can, you know, say here that, you know, going the first item Shrunken definitely can make sense.
A hero like Engineer can be a real pain, and Shrunken Head helps you really use your mobility in a team fight.
Silhouette actually trying to find this Draconis, but he's going to port out before just Silhouette can catch him. And we'll be fine. Second, no portal key on Silhouette. Can't necessarily jump him. Instead, we'll just continue to farm now as he gets Draconis to port back to base, who's now going to start cleaning up the middle lane. So, an all-in Dragon game. I mean, the team fight most certainly there for our Legion team, but right now the farm overall especially is what's really standing out. On the Hellborn side, Silhouette's way up there. 487 GPM. The next closest on the Legion team, that is Wretched Hag at only 290 GPM.
Yeah.
And Draconis shortly after that. So, but you got your supporting cast of Hammerstorm, Bubbles, also doing fantastic. Bubbles actually just finishing his Hellflower. Hammerstorm another 1,700 gold. Again, things just continuing to come a little bit better here for Cats Gaming. So that
yeah, they need to throw at this point. They have all the tools once again. Ophelia is definitely having a suffer kind of game. Pretty low impact between all the AoE stuns, between the Voodoo Jester bounces. Just doesn't seem to be getting a break.
Yeah. So they're just gonna, you know, again, it's when is enough here for nxlF. I guess it is a case if they're gonna allow you to get up a little bit more free time here, you might as well take advantage of it. I don't think you can sort of force anything, but
right now they're waiting for the token more than anything on Hellborn, and then I expect we'll see a push again. Right now, as far as nxlF goes, they're just trying to hang in. They haven't lost any racks yet. They shouldn't be conceding because there's always room to make big plays. But yeah, they're just trying to hang on. But once the token comes into play, I expect that we'll start seeing a push. Shrunken Head started up on Silhouette as well.
Yeah, that's gonna, you know, get that on top of everything else she has. Give her that defense mechanism. So, well, again, it keeps going back to nxlF here. Just buying time. Firebrand finished on. Nope. Okay. With the Firebrand, sold it, and now picked up a Slayer here. So says, nah, screw it. It's time for that Savage Mace. I need that damage, that raw damage ASAP.
Yeah, he'll still just be tickling the Hellborn team if he just goes Firebrand at this point when they're so far down. They have Bulwark picked up, Demonic ultimately for Hammerstorm. He needs damage.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a farming tool, especially in this case. So wants the raw damage here, so you're really just going to try to finish that Savage Mace at least. Spider Mine's level 3 now, by the way, by Engineering. Actually, you see him here in the jungle. He's actually placing some Spider Mines. He got 4 down. That's level 3, so what is that? 250 damage each. We're looking at a good 1,000 damage right there. Magic damage, that is. So.
Yeah, and he's not really using it to deny the resources because they say, hey, we're full. Actually, he is. Look at the Hellborn camp there, the mid camp. He has a mine place in it just to deny them the farm.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely a tool you can definitely take advantage of with Engineer, of course.
Uh-oh, Hag. Obviously not enough to kill, but he's got to be like, really?
Energizer used right there. There we go. The Hellborn team going to try to jump in. Bubbles jumps. It's not going to see. There's a cut. Wretched Hag is going to be locked down, and she will just melt away. The Ophelia heal didn't even get off in time, I don't believe. Even if it did, it probably wouldn't have mattered. The lockdown was just too intense. Ophelia's now on the run. You see she's probably going to get caught. Aluna may survive, but Ophelia will fall right here. And 2 more kills adding up now for Cats Gaming. So the way this game is continuing to go, on top of another token of life, it is going to need to be ultimate throw here from Cats Gaming, it looks like, if nxlF wants a victory. So, yep.
Yeah, so this is going to be the base push. There's nothing stopping them. From there on out, they might try to drag it out a little bit longer, but yeah, it's not like they have an unsafe team. It's unstable. Like they're relying on their portal key initiation. I mean, they can pretty much just stick together and run the train. So it's looking grim.
Again, this is game 3. This is it for, well, both of these teams. More so for nxlF though, and obviously you're not going to concede just yet, but want to give it that one last go. Going to try to lock down Silhouette, maybe get the token of life burned. Yo, she swaps out the last second, actually. She may eventually fall right there. The Cataclysmic Assault is activated by Draconis, so she will go down. In comes the Hellflower, actually, as soon as she comes back up. The Bat Blast on top of that, but the team support is just too much. She'll be pushed back with the tablet and going to be fine. The Hellborn team now trying to reset things. Nobody dead just yet, actually. But that is enough to hold off Cats from going any further. But the damage still nonetheless done. So they got the melee rack, so can be happy with that at least. So they held it off at least.
Probably.
Held off finishing the game, so got that working.
And no token anymore too, but by the time they push again, there'll be a Shrunken Head. There's going to be just so much going on.
That Storm Spirit on an Engineer.
A little bit of Plated Greaves picked up by our friend Voodoo Jester as well.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Wait, can you split up Striders? No, right? I think he just sold his Striders and went with it.
I believe he just sold it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. Yep, wanted some more armor for the time. And speaking of more armor, actually, Gnome's Wisdom also picked up here by Bubbles, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't feel like they really need that kind of pickup for their team.
Yeah.
Even an Abyssal Skull maybe for Hammerstorm could be nice, although he's sort of moving around the fight slot, might not actually apply. I would have rather seen a utility item. I just don't see this as being a Gnomes team, but yeah, he is going for it.
That's that finished for his side. Some more counter warding going on right there between Voodoo Jester and Engineer. And Voodoo Jester ports out. There's the Warp Clef purchased by Hammerstorm. By the way, it's at the bottom lane right now. Stun on the Meraxis. Song of the Sea coming in. The Cuffin on top of that. Trying to lock down Meraxis. And yes, it'll be more than enough. Again, Hammerstorm especially dishing out so much damage with that brute strength. Silhouette, of course, doing her part too. Aluna is now trying to port out. Yep, will be successful actually, so good for her, but the chase is still on. Meanwhile, over here, Engineer kicks it onto Ophelia. A great turret placement, the energy field coming out, Shell Surf hitting, and down it goes Ophelia. Very well played by Scorpion right there, playing the Engineer, and the chase continues. I mean, again, why the hell not? nxlF just falling back. The last thing you need is to have fights not in your favor taking place at this point. And
yeah, this is going to be the base being broken down here. You know, Meraxis, it might be Lancey, it might be nerves, but that hammer was flying towards him for days, I felt like. Even for Lancey, that was another example of it not being used.
Yeah.
The Arcane Shield.
Couldn't get it off. He dies. Wretched Dag just gets exploded on right there. As she takes the Hellflower, the melee racks go down, so it definitely is getting to a point of, well, it's very likely going to be over here shortly here in favor of Cats Gaming. You know, wouldn't be surprised to see a concede vote, but again, not just yet here from our Legion team. Oh, okay. Draconis decides to activate a Shrunken Head on creeps. So won't have that now for a little bit. And 1 second less as a result. How close is he to the, oh, he went with Whispering Helm, but wait, not. Did he actually go Whispering Helm?
He actually went Whispering Helm after buying the Slayer.
Yeah, that's right.
As far as I know.
Yeah, I don't remember that before.
It's just trying to help him farm up a bit.
Yeah.
They're sort of down. They're just trying to grab at whatever they can here. It's not a matter of what are they doing. At this point, they have the map control on Hellborn. It's incredibly difficult for them to try to get it back here for the Legion team. They have a really aggressive lineup as well, so if they're even a little bit out of position, trying to counter ward, trying to get what they can, it's just they're going to get jumped. They're going to get, you know, bursted down, and there comes the follow-up. So.
Scorpion continuing to lay down those mine traps here in the Legion jungle. And then like 4 set of mines, now level 4. So of course it's 300 damage each. Demonic Breastplate finished on Hammerstorm. Just another massive item that that Cats Gaming has up their arsenal. Silhouette, that was another 2,300 gold saved up. 2,000 on Bubbles. nxlF just doing their part, just sitting in their base pretty much, just taking advantage of the creeps being pushed up, just cleaning out what little of the jungle they can. Ophelia, she's continuing to have very few to no minions at this point. She can't even get them taken over. Again, you see her kind of going to the jungle right there, but she's like, I can't go really much further because I'll probably die. So yeah, she probably would have. In fact, she still might die if she's not careful. Here comes Hammerstorm and Engineer. More mines put down. Moraxis is actually going to be caught right here. He's going to take a kick stun. In jumps Hammerstorm, and Ophelia will fall right off the bat. You see a point out from Moraxis. Yo, he is going to not be successful. I thought he might have for a second, but never mind.
Yeah, sort of died as he died in the base there. Look at his corpse sitting there floating. It's always funny when that happens. I liked what they did there too. They went on Meraxis, they locked him down with the Engineer ulti so he couldn't do anything in the fight, killed the squishier target, then re-went on him. But they could have done anything they wanted. Let's be realistic at that point. It was
it was over.
It was over.
They were staying in there for the sake of staying in there, but at that point, Cats Gaming just too strong, and that means Cats Gaming, they're going to be representing the CIS region, the Russian region over there. Taking place in the Sound Blaster Heroes League main event, that $30,000 prize pool. They will be able to compete for their part of that. So congratulations to them. This nxlF team, NXL Focus Esports as they're called. Hopefully we do see them in Thailand, because not only to see them on a land setting, but to see what kind of representation. Apparently they're one of the best, if not the best, Indonesian team out there. So
yeah, Yeah, they showed a lot of holes in their game here, but we don't know what happened with the lay nerves. There's a lot to the story. Maybe they were tired. I have no. We can't tell the whole picture, so we don't have enough data about the team, really. So it's hard to say.
It is. It is, but in the end, again, Chaos Gaming, they played it very well. They did themselves and deserving of a victory here. So that means they're going to be playing Pikachu in that first round matchup when those qualifiers or the main event starts. That is, again, a $30,000 prize pool. Big shout out to Sound Blaster one more time here in Creative as well for sponsoring this, putting this together. It's been an epic qualifying event, but we got the main event coming up. It's going to be a lot of coverage, a lot of content coming out, and a lot of awesome matches for. Well, a lot of money. $30,000 prize pool again. So, looking forward to that. That all kicks off March 4th, but, hell, we got plenty before that. Obviously, we're going to be coming back at you tomorrow as Cycle number 6 will be wrapping up here on Honcast for the Hon Tour event. So, again, looking forward to that, obviously. Have plenty of matchups, as always, all the way to the grand finals of that. Going to be intriguing to see how that shapes up. Then, next week, speaking of GSL, we have our second qualifier for that, for the North American European region. All next week. So, oh my God, is there plenty of Heroes of North coming at you guys. Definitely look forward to it. So, Emperor, any final words from yourself before we wrap things up here?
No, it was good to see a little bit of different play from both these teams. We didn't actually see too much off the walls. It was pretty conventional for both sides, except for maybe some of the lane assignments and obviously the Predator carry. I just like to see more of these different regions getting involved. So
yeah, if anything, it would be kind of cool to see more and more of these take place. Whether it's through outside events like this or, maybe with Hunter in the future, who knows. But going to be fun, Plenty of content coming up. Anyways, coverage, though, again, we'll resume tomorrow. 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European Time. We'll be coming back at you. Hon Tour Cycle number 6 with a losers bracket matchup. Until then, though, going to wrap things up here today. So follow Emperor all over the place. You got your old Domain of Pain. So Twitter at Domain of Pain.
Yeah, Twitter, Domain of Pain. Facebook at Domain of Pain. Twitch at Domain of Pain. And yeah, you can find me there.
There you go. You can find that nice guy over there. As far as myself, at BreakingCPK. Of course, all the Honcast jazz, the Honcast site, the HonTour.com site. All of that. Anyways, we're wrapping up today. Congratulations one more time to Cats Gaming. We'll see you tomorrow. Hon Tour Cycle number 6 continues. Have a good night, guys.